Aloha, I'm Dr. Brian.
I'm Dr. Don.
And I'm Dr. Joe.
Okay, so this video is all about a concept that we learned. It's called German New Medicine, and we've shared with a lot of this with most of our patients, but there's something that we want all of our patients to really understand more about it. So we're going to cut to the picture here so you can see it on the video so you can understand things better, okay? So you can see here on the very front or the beginning of the graph here, there's a upside down triangle that says DHS. And what that represents is there's a moment of conflict. So the guy who came up with this was Dr. Hammer, and he talks about the importance of anything that the body goes through, any conflict that the body starts with, begins with some sort of conflict that he says that quote unquote catches you off guard. So something that you didn't expect to happen. So then you go through what's called a conflict phase, or the conflict course as it says here, and that's where your sympathetic or your stress response goes through the roof. Then once we get to the CL, we go through a process called conflict resolution, where we've thought about it enough and we made resolution maybe with someone or within ourselves. And once that resolution is made, then we go into something that's called a healing phase. That's where hopefully we go into more of a parasympathetic or a relaxed state.
Yeah, so most symptoms are actually felt in this healing stage. So most of the people that come into our office are actually in this healing phase. But it becomes a chronic issue when they're dealing with what's called healing tracks. So healing tracks are when you've had this resolution of this conflict, but when you were in the conflict, when you were going through the emotional conflict, your subconscious mind was actually making connections with that emotional conflict with like different allergens like foods, pollens, dust, stuff like that, or making emotional connections with that conflict, anger, sadness, depression, whatever it is. And so what happens is that when you start this healing phase, it can actually become this indefinite healing phase where you stay in what's called exudation phase. That's where you have all the swelling and the pain. That can actually become an indefinite phase for you because you have all these different connections or triggers, we like to call them, that your brain, anytime you eat gluten, you go back into this healing phase, or anytime that you feel anger, then you go back into that healing phase. And so when you show up into our office, that's probably where you're at. And so our whole purpose is to try to figure out what's keeping you stuck in that healing phase, find out those triggers, and help you get rid of those different triggers, whether they be emotional, chemical, or structural, mechanical type of triggers.
As Dr. Joe was talking about, we get stuck in these phases where we have all these triggers that are going on. And so we have a lot of tools at our disposal in order to help you to break the connections with these. And so we can clear trapped emotions using the emotion code. We use the body code to help with different kinds of imbalances that are in your body and with the brain. We have the EVOX to help change the perception. We have NATE, the Nabutapet allergy elimination technique, to help with changing your body's response to different kinds of substances. And that's not just substances, but ideas and people, things like that. So we have lots of tools at our disposal to break these connections so that these triggers aren't happening all the time.
Exactly. And it comes back down to that brain-based wellness, because it's all being controlled by the brain. And so, the whole process that you go through is about rewiring the brain so that your body is no longer staying inside a chronic healing phase, or actually sometimes you might show up when you're in the sympathetic phase. And so we might be able to help you out with the different tools to be able to get you out of that sympathetic phase. But really at the end of the day, everybody is going to go through those two different phases of having the conflict, resolving the conflict, and trying to heal. And our whole purpose is to help your brain reprogram and rewire your brain so that you actually stay in a more balanced state with those two phases.
Yeah, so something to keep in mind is we all go through these processes on a daily basis, and a lot of the time our body can handle it on its own. Sometimes, however, our body needs a little kick in the pants or whatever boost or help to help us get through it, and that's where the chiropractic adjustment, the allergy treatments, et cetera, supplements, even medication at times, help with that as well. So we hope that was helpful. Obviously, we're here for any questions as you come and visit us. I think that's it for this one.
Okay. Yeah.